Fauda is an Israeli television production, an action series depicting Israeli soldiers donning the identity of Palestinians in order to infiltrate Palestinian society. The show premiered in Israel in 2015 and is carried by Netflix. Its third season will be released soon in the United States. In the show, whenever the Palestinians try to resist and the soldiers are afraid of losing control, they start shouting Fauda.
The series is about undercover unit in Israel that deals with terrorists, and they have to get inside and to pull and to catch and to kill terrorists over there. We're talking about the price that both sides pays for their action. It's quite, I don't say if we're humanizing the other side, but we are showing other side and aspects of the Palestinians in this conflict, not just the conflict, the Palestinians.
Fauda is a word in Arabic meaning chaos. The real-world context the show draws its setting from is a military occupation in which soldiers exert their power on unarmed Palestinian civilians.
Now it takes hours and sometimes they don't let us pass. The Israelis don't give us permits though we are legal traders. They deprive us of the right to travel between cities. My late father stayed in hospital for 45 days. I had to climb mountains and walk 10 kilometers to reach the hospital. Checkpoint guards let dogs attack me, but I managed to escape. It was difficult to reach the hospital and see my father before he died. The Israelis have no empathy and give no consideration to humanitarian cases.
But Fauda doesn't investigate the history of that occupation, and only rarely do Israeli soldiers face the risk to their lives, which are so commonplace in the show. The show's propaganda is insidious because it doesn't ignore the reasons for the Palestinian uprising, but it creates a false equivalence between occupier and occupied. By depicting its Israeli soldier characters as complex, human, and hyper-competent, it makes the case that violence and occupation might be inevitable and helps justify the actions of the real-world Israeli government to the show's audience.
In Fauda, I'm playing Dr. Shirin, which is the character which is in between the both sides. She's not taking, side for one part or the other one. Like, it's not the perfect show ever, but for me it brings something very important, that both sides are the same in terms of human beings. Like, the family are suffering for the same things, laughing for the same things. This aspect of the show is very important to me.
At the center of the show are Israeli heroes with the almost superhuman ability to shed their identity and assume the cover of Arab Muslims, suddenly speaking fluent Arabic without a detectable accent.
عليكم السلام، ايش يا حبيبي؟
شو من وين انت، من القدس؟
لا، ايش فك على الجنين؟
لا، هي المنطقة تابعة لمنطقة بريطانيا.
والله. مين انت، مركز شركة كهرباء؟
لا، عمي نضال ابو عماد بيشتغل فاعل بالقدس، بتعرفه؟
أكيد بعرف، فينا هذا أمك.
هذا عمي.
والله. Let's move.
The show pretends to humanize both sides, but only the Israeli side is fully presented as human. Scenes of Palestinian family life are brief, and the only scenes in which protagonists are presented as complete villains are about Palestinians.
فكر كمان مرة. فكر بكبير. كل اللي عملناه لحد اليوم عشان نصل لهي اللحظة. هاي العملية رح تغير كل ميادين القوة بالشرق الأوسط. رح ندخل كتب التاريخ. بس رح يكون في ملامة صوابين. هذا المقصد.
Meanwhile, the show contains many scenes in which the Israeli killers are humanized and experience complex emotions.
أعطيني الدق.
The series dramatizes scenes which Israeli viewers recognize from reports of human rights organizations. The use of force by an occupying power is worked into the plot as a complex dilemma that the conflicted Israeli soldiers grapple with. The critiques of human rights groups against the xenophobic, Islamophobic, and colonialist Israeli government are not considered in an equivalent way. The show attacks the human rights argument by showing that even if Palestinians under military occupation have grievances, their anger is just another reason to fear and hate them. It's an argument that gives comfort to viewers who reject equality but are ashamed to admit their nationalism and feelings of supremacy. The show presents to them sensitive spies who enjoy the music, the food, and the language of their enemies, who have wrestled with their experiences with war and the occupation, and who still don't hesitate to kill Palestinian civilians in situations justified by the show's narrative and couched as self-defense.
נשים, ילדים, זקנים, בן זונה רוצח, בן מוות, בן מוות.
أنا بقولك إذا بتقوليش وين أبو أحمد.
Fauda was created by Lior Raz, who also plays the main protagonist. Raz himself served as a member of the Duvdevin unit on which the show is based, a unit of Israeli soldiers who disguise themselves as Palestinians. Raz chose to omit from the show the fact that a former commander of the unit, Amos Golan, was reprimanded after it was discovered that the Duvdevin unit has the highest rate of friendly fire, soldiers shooting at their own comrades who are disguised as Arabs in the entire Israeli military. The viewers can see themselves as enlightened and fool themselves into thinking that they have learned something about Arab society as they receive subtle confirmation that hating and fearing Arabs and Muslims is just fine.